Good afternoon, guys. Sorry, my phone or my laptop was a little bit, it didn't want to work. I couldn't record the session, so I started a little bit late. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, guys. Today we're going to do irregular verbs and degrees of comparison. We did irregular verbs last week with the Kahoot. Do you remember that at the end with the 3 words, and the last one was the one that didn't fit? Okay, so we're going to do irregular verbs and degrees of comparison today. And then on Friday, we're going to do Kahoot again. We're going to do this in the Kahoot again. Okay. Just go for the new guys. This is me. I'm your teacher. My name is Leandri, but I also go by Leah. That's my nickname. Okay, so the rules of the class is that you should have your video and microphone off at all times. If you put on your video, I will mute you. Or if you put on your video, we will remove you from the class. Okay? And then I will unmute you if you have a question, and you can just raise your hands. You will see your chat is not private anymore. Okay. But if you can't keep yourself in check, I will put your chat on private again very quickly. Okay. I'm going to unmute you if you have a question.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask, ma'am, is this week the last week for the Zoom classes, and then we started from another 2 weeks from now, ma'am?
No, this isn't the last week for the Zoom classes. The Zoom classes is going to continue.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. I know there was somebody in the class yesterday that asked about a vacation. That is not something that's going to happen. The Zoom classes is going to continue. The vacation day. The vacation day is the 17th of August. That is a vacation day. Yes.
Ma'am, can I please ask, what textbook are you using for your degrees of comparison?
I'm not using a textbook. I'm doing this with the CAPS documents.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay. Let's just continue. Okay. So like I said, today we're going to do the irregular verbs and then degrees of comparison, and then you're going to do 2 exercises with each one. Okay. So the first one with the irregular verbs. An irregular verb is anyone that doesn't follow the rule, the standard rule of making a verb past tense. Okay, so if we are going to look at irregular verbs, if you are looking to see if something is an irregular verb, you look at the verb, and if it can't get an ed at the end to make it past tense, then it's an irregular verb. Then it's not a regular verb. Okay, so that's how we know if it's going to be a regular verb or an irregular verb. Okay. For example, if I give you a word like want, I want something. If I tell you to put that in past tense, you're just going to put in the ed at the back, and the word is going to be wanted. Okay. To roll, if you put an ed at the back, then it is past tense. So that is a regular verb. That's a regular verb. But if you give an example like begin, you can't put an ed at the back of begin, then it mustn't make sense. Okay, like begin, what does begin means? So you go and change the word, the verb completely. So it's begin goes to began. Okay. To write something is you wrote something. Okay. So that is what an irregular verb is. Do you have a question regarding irregular verbs? Any questions regarding irregular verbs? Okay, no questions there. Okay. Okay, so if I tell you we have irregular verbs, we have the base form of the verb. That means it's the simplest form of the word. That is the base form of a verb, okay? Then it goes to the simple past tense. The simple past tense is the past tense of the base word, okay? Now it goes to participle. Participle, and that means it's formed from the verb. It can be used as an adjective, it can be used as a noun, and sometimes it's used as part of a sentence. I'm going to give you a few examples now. Do you have any questions regarding this? Okay, I'm going to unmute you.
Ma'am, must it always be a standard that the person does not listen?
Just repeat your question. Repeat your question.
My question is, does it always have to be a rule that is not listened, somebody does not listen to it?
Sorry, I'm struggling to hear you. Just send that question in the chat, please, privately. Okay, so the irregular verb it doesn't follow the normal rules of a verb. The normal rules of a verb is when you put an ed or a d at the back of it, then it's past tense. So an irregular verb doesn't follow that. Okay, so if you have an irregular verb, you have three forms of an irregular verb. You have the base form, which is the simplest form of the verb. You have the simple past tense, which is the past tense of the base word. If you don't know if it's a regular verb, put an ed at the back. Okay. Put an ed at the back, like want. You put an ed at the back, wanted. Okay, that's past tense. So that means it's not a regular verb. Begin, beginned. Okay, that doesn't make sense. That's not a word. Okay. So that must be an irregular verb. Okay, and then the last form is the participle, which is formed from the verb. It can be used as an adjective, can be used as a noun, or sometimes it's used as part of a sentence. Okay. Now, I want you to help me here. We are going to do the irregular verbs of this. You're going to do the irregular verbs of this. Yes, if you put an ed at the back of the verb, it makes it past tense, like want, wanted. Okay, that's okay. Hi guys, if you're new, it's fine. I want you to give me the past simple of awake and the past participle of awake. Okay, I want you to give me the past simple tense of awake and the past participle of awake.
Awoke.
Okay, so the past tense is awoke, and what is the past participle?
Awoken.
Awoken. Yes. Okay, so it's awake, awoke, awoken. Remember, past participle is something that can be used as an adjective or something as a noun. Okay, so that's what we use that awoken for. I was awoken by the birds chirping. Okay, now the past simple tense and the past participle tense of be. Who wants to answer that one for me? Of be. Please. Okay, so if we have be, what does be become? Miley, I'm going to unmute you.
Was.
Yes, okay, so be is was or were, and the past participle?
Were.
Okay. The past simple tense is was or were. That is the past tense of be. Now the past participle is been. I've been looking for you.
Great.
Okay. Okay. Guys, I know this is not necessarily easy, but this is just something you learn. It's something you learn. It's something you actually must know by heart. Okay. So the next one, beat. What is the past simple tense of beat and the past participle of beat?
Ma'am, the past, it was beat in. I was beat in.
Yes, it was. The past simple is beat, it stays beat, and the past participle is beaten. Yes. Okay, the next one, become. Shannon, I'm going to unmute you. Yes.
Become because. No, become because but.
Okay, it's going to become, became,
Came.
and then it goes back to become.
Oh, thanks, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, because I haven't been German. It's my first time. My mom and my mom said I should come.
It's fine, it's perfect. Thank you for joining us. We are glad you are new and we're glad you're with us. Okay, so the next one, begin. The next one, begin. Tafika, I'm going to unmute you. Okay, yes.
Ma'am, the next one is begin and then began.
And then the past participle.
It goes back to begin again.
It's begun. I begin something. I began something yesterday, but I will have begun. Okay. Don't worry, guys. The past participle is new. I know you haven't done that yet. Okay. So it's begin, began, begun. Okay. That's why we are learning this. Okay. So don't stress. Okay. The next one, bend. I bend my straw.
Bend, bent, and bending.
It stays the same. Bent
Oh.
and bent.
Okay.
Like I said, the past participle is new. We are learning that. Okay. Don't worry if you don't get that one right. It's fine. Okay, so I buy something. I buy something. What is the past tense of buy?
Bought.
Yes.
Bought. For past tense, I bought.
And past participle stays bought. Okay. So it's bought and bought. Miley, I'm going to unmute you. Then you can do cast for me.
Caught.
Hello.
Hi, ma'am.
Cast. Okay.
It's caught and it stays caught on the past participle.
Okay. The word is cast, not catch. It's cast.
Oh, sorry, ma'am.
It's fine. It's cast. If I cast a line today, yesterday I what the line?
I think it stays the same.
It stays the same. Yesterday I cast the line.
Yeah.
And the participle is also cast. Okay, so deal. Deal. What is, okay, I'm going to unmute you.
Dealt and dealt.
I deal, yes. I dealt with something, and the past participle stays dealt. Okay. Okay, so draw. I draw something. Yesterday I
Drew.
drew, and the day after that I
Drew.
drawn. I've drawn a
Okay.
picture. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, don't worry about this. Okay, so dream. Okay, dream.
Dreamt. And on the
Yes.
past participle, it stays dreamt.
It stays dreamed. Yes, that is correct. Thank you. Okay, and the last one, drink. Drink.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
I'm sorry I'm late. What are we doing?
We're doing irregular verbs.
Irregular verbs.
Yes, we are doing irregular verbs.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and give me the last one. Okay, if you are not going to answer me, Tafika, I'm going to unmute you. Give me the last one. Drink.
Drink, drank, and then it repeats. Ma'am?
Just repeat that. Sorry, I had a glitch.
Ma'am, and then you say you write drank on both of the places.
Okay, I drink. I'm going to show you now. Just okay. I drink, I drank, and I drunk. Okay, I drink, I drank, and I drunk something. Okay. Lower everybody's hands. Okay. So. Okay. The next thing we are going to do is we're going to do the degrees of comparison. Now, I think this is something you know more about. That means adjectives have three different three different forms to show degrees of comparison when you compare things to or people to each other. Okay, so when I compare things to each other, then we call that degrees of comparison. Now, I think you've been doing this for quite a while now, so you will know this, but this is still something that you need to know or need to learn. And if you get older, with each grade you go to, the degrees of comparison becomes a little bit more difficult. Okay, so I want to explain to you like this. Okay, so when we have degrees of comparison, the first one is positive. The first one is positive, and that means it only describes one thing or one person. Okay, so the degrees of comparison, the first one is positive. That means it only describes one thing or one person. Then it goes to comparative. That means when you compare two things to each other. Like, I am slow, but you are slower. So I'm comparing you to me, two things. But that guy there is the slowest. So the superlative is when I compare the third thing. Okay, so basically I am slow, number one, that is positive. So slow is positive. That guy is slower. And the last guy is the slowest. Okay. But that guy is the slowest. So that's when we compare three things. Okay, so now I want you to give me the comparative and the superlative of sweet. I want you to, okay, Lasidia, I'm going to unmute you for sweet. Yes.
It's sweet, sweetheart, sweetest.
Hey, sweet, sweeter, sweetest. Thank you. Degrees of comparison is a lot easier than okay, the next one, young, young, young.
Young, younger, and youngest.
Yes, I'm young, you are younger, but she is the youngest. Guys, I have here somebody that's saying I'm glitching. Am I glitching for you also? Am I glitching? Just send me a no or a yes. Dumbala, I'm going to unmute you for hi. Okay, so Ntando, it's not on my side. I think it's on your side. Maybe you have an internet connection or problem that side. Okay, so hi. Hi.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, it's higher, high, higher, and highest.
Yes, high, higher, and highest. Thank you. So the next one, old. Old. Miley, I'm going to unmute you for old.
Older and oldest.
Old, older, and oldest. Yes, that is correct. Thank you. Okay. So the next one, white. White.
What? What is?
White, whiter, and whitest. Yes. That is correct. This wall is white. That wall is whiter. But this thing is the whitest. Okay. So noble. Noble. First, let's do Okay, noble.
Most noble, more noble, and most noble.
Okay, so noble is one that you can do in two different ways. You can do it like you just said, with more noble or most noble. Okay, you can either do it like that, or you can say nobler and noblest. Okay. What I want to tell you is that if you have a thing like this, okay, and you see everything has the same, almost the same, like sweetest, sweetest, younger, youngest, then you go nobler, noblest. But if the box looks different and it says more and most, then you can say noble is more noble or most noble. Okay, so this one can be both of them. Okay. Okay, so now wise. Sorry, wise. Let's just see if I can unmute for wise. Wise.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, wise, wiser, and wisest.
Yes. Wise, wiser, and wisest. Wise, wiser, and wisest. Okay, the next one, large. The next one, large.
Large, larger, and largest.
Yes. Large, larger, and largest. Okay, the next one is safe. The next one is safe. Okay. I'm going to unmute the next one to do safe for me.
Safe, safer, safest.
Safe, safer, safest. Yes. Okay. Fine, fine, fine.
Ma'am, it's finer and finest.
Fine, finer, and finest. Yes, that is correct. Okay. The next one, easy. The next one, easy. Nintendo, I'm going to unmute you.
Easy, easiest, easy, easier, easiest.
Yes, easy, easier, and easiest. Okay, and then the last one goes to faith. The last one goes to faith.
Ma'am, it's
Yes.
lovely. Ma'am, it's lovely, lovelier, loveliest.
Yes, lovely, lovelier, and loveliest. Okay. Now, who has a few examples for me that is not on my list, that wants to give me a few examples? Can I just unmute you from the top? Let's just give you a few seconds. Yes.
Example, big.
That is correct. Thank you. Okay. Miley, do you have an example for me?
Yes, ma'am. Great, greater, greatest.
Yes, that is correct. Thank you. Okay, the next one, I'm going to unmute you. You have an example for me.
Yes, I do. Beautiful.
Okay.
More beautiful. More beautiful. Most beautiful.
Yes, that is correct. When you have a word like beautiful, you don't go and put beautifuler at the end or beautifulest, because that doesn't make sense. Okay, so you say, I am beautiful, she is more beautiful, but she is the most beautiful. Okay. Faith, do you have an example for me?
Ma'am, ripe, riper, ripest.
Yes. Ripe, riper, ripest. Next one.
Ma'am,
Yes.
thick, thicker, thickest.
Yes. Thick, thicker, thickest. That is correct. Thank you. Okay. Next one.
Hot, hotter, hottest.
Yes. This pan is hot, but that pan is hotter. And the last one is the hottest. Okay. Lesedi.
Ma'am, happy, happier, happiest.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Next one.
Thinner, thinnest, ma'am.
Yes, I'm thin, you're thinner, but she's the thinnest.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Guys, remember to keep off your videos. Okay, Akani, I'm going to unmute you now. If it wants to unmute. Okay. I'm just going to go to the next one. I'll come back to you.
Ma'am, tiny, tiny and tiniest.
Yes, that is correct. Thank you. Okay, let's go to the next one. Faith.
Ma'am, you can say bad, worse, worst.
Yes, worse,
Bad, worse, worst.
yes, bad, worse, worst. Okay, do you see that one changes completely? Something
Yes, ma'am.
is bad, but that thing is worse, and that thing is the worst. Okay. Miley, I'm going to unmute you.
You can say fat, fatter, and fattest.
Yes, that is correct. Something is fatter and fattest. Okay. Trying to unmute you. Okay.
Ma'am. Ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
Nice, nicer, nicest.
Nice, nicer, nicest. Yes,
Yes,
that
ma'am.
is correct. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just see here. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
hard, harder, and hardest.
Hard, harder, and hardest. Yes. Okay. I'm trying to unmute you. See if it works.
Ma'am,
Yes.
cooler, ma'am, cool, cooler, and coolest.
Cool, cooler, and coolest. Yes.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Deep, deepest.
Deep, deeper, deepest. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and the last one. Okay.
Cute, cuter, cutest.
Cute, cuter, cutest. Yes. Cute, cuter, cutest. Okay. Now, guys, if I give you an example like, I tell you to please give me the degrees of comparison for popular. Please give me the degrees of comparison for popular. What will you tell me that is? What will you tell me that is? Popular. Sandra, I'm going to unmute you. If it wants to unmute you. Yeah, and then I'm going to give you the next one also. For popular.
More popular. She's popular, more popular, and most popular.
Yes, that is correct. So if you look at words like popular and difficult, those are the words that gets more and most. That is quite easy to see when it does what. Okay, so you will see if it doesn't make sense to put an ER or EST at the back, then it becomes more and most. Okay, so that is quite easy. Are all of you fine with the degrees of comparison? Just say yes or something that I know you have, you know what this is. Okay, so the degrees of comparison is fine. I just want to go back to the past and participle. Okay. Okay, so guys, I just want to come back here. Okay, I will give you a complete list of irregular verbs that we are going to use on Friday for that Kahoot. Okay, do any of you have any questions about this? Any questions about the irregular verbs and how you know when it's an irregular verb? Are all of you fine with this? Do you understand this? Because I know the past participle is a little bit tricky. I want you to look at this slide, and this is the most important when you look at irregular verbs. Okay. If you look at the past participle of irregular verbs, okay, then you go and look how you can, in what form that verb can be used as an adjective or as a noun or as a part of a sentence, and then you go and change it in that way. Okay, we are going to do a few exercises with this tomorrow, but okay, I just want an indication of who's new, who didn't write that poem for me last week. Just give me an indication about that. If you are new, just put up your hand. It's fine. Because I want you to write a poem for me for Thursday. You can choose any topic you like. Okay. Remember when I told you about the poems? You are going to write a poem for me for Thursday. You're going to either read it in class, and if you don't feel like reading it in class, it's fine. You can either type it for me in the chat or you can email it to me. I'm going to go to my email address. That's why I'm skipping forward. But you can write me any poem you like. Last week, the topic of the poem was pets. This week, you can write the topic about anything. And it needs to be done by Thursday. This is important, please. This is important. You must do this. Okay. We are trying to get your participation up a little bit. in the class. So please, this is homework. Write me a poem. We discussed poems last week. You know how to write a poem. We did the figures of speech. You know the figures of speech. So please write me a poem for Thursday with any topic. If you want to write a poem about the trees, you can write a poem about the trees. Don't use the same one you did last week for pets, please. So anything except pets. So you can write me anything, any poem about any topic. Okay. Any questions about the poem you need to write me for Thursday? So you have today, this evening, and tomorrow to write me, and actually the entire morning on Thursday to write me a poem about anything you like. And if I have good participation on Thursday, I will have a surprise for you for next week. Okay. Any questions about your poems? The new guys, anybody who wants to ask me a question about your poems that you need to write me? I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm going to unmute you. Don't go yet. Yes.
Does our poem need to rhyme?
Your poem needs to rhyme. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. This poem needs to rhyme. Okay. Last week was exercise. It's just something so I can see how much you know, but this poem needs to rhyme.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, last week we did a poem, so this time we should write a poem that's rhyming.
Yes, your poem needs to rhyme, even if it's not every line, but maybe make it 2 lines that rhyme in this stanza and 2 words that rhyme in the following stanza. Okay, it doesn't need to rhyme the entire time, but you need to have a few rhyme words. And please put in a figure of speech. Either put in alliteration or an idiom or a hyperbole or a metaphor. Compare the trees to dancing men or something like that. Okay. Is that fine? Are all of you with me on your assignment for Thursday? Tomorrow we are going to do a little what do you call that? Sorry, a comprehension test. And then we are going to do the irregular verbs again. So guys, if you are new and you don't have my email address, here is my email address. If you want to send me your poems, if you're not comfortable reading it to the class in front of everyone, send me your poem to my email address, or you can just type it in at the chat box if you want to do that. That is also okay. But here's my email address. And new guys, if you have a question for me, please send it to me. I will answer your emails. So I think that is that for today. I'll see you again tomorrow at the same time, at the same place. And thank you for working with me today. And I know there wasn't a lot of problems, maybe here and there a video, but it wasn't too bad. So thank you for that. And thank you for not spamming the chat that much when they were public. Okay, so I appreciate that. And guys, have a lovely afternoon.